Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to just talk a little bit about some of the things I've enjoyed with this new camera. And I've had it now for a couple of weeks. Haven't had a whole lot of time to take it out, but when I have, I've been very much impressed. So this video is not for all the specs in the camera. I'm not going to go through the menu settings very thoroughly. You can find all those probably in some other videos on YouTube. I just want to talk about why I love this camera, the 5 things that I fell in love with, and I mean that's basically it. 5 reasons why I absolutely love this camera. So, firstly is the build quality. I mean, it's just classy, especially in the silver black tone. You can't go wrong. And props to the designers, because man, look at this thing. I like the use of all the buttons. They're easy to get used to. They're pretty simple. Menu here, play. It does get a little tricky trying to relearn how to delete photos again, but you know, you get used to it after about a day. All the cameras I've used in the last 5-6 years have been Sony, so the buttons in the menu system are kind of a little challenging, but like I said, nothing more than a day to get used to. All right, so the fixed 23mm lens is the 35mm full frame equivalent. It's not a problem for me, especially with you know, the zoom features. Zoom into the 50 and 70. You can use this dial here to do so. The only downside is the drop in megapixel, but I'll put up some photos of the punch-in with both of them, 50 and 70, and honestly it still produces great photos. The 40.2 megapixel, it is just wonderful. It cuts it down, but it still produces great imagery. So the second thing I love about this camera is its compactness versus the quality versus the price tag. And what I mean by that is simple. So like, look at other cameras on the market sporting, you know, a compact size, some with higher megapixels, sure, such as like Sony A7CR, but at a steeper price point. Other options could be like a Leica Q3, but again, way steeper price tag. For the quality of this, you know, processor, to be in such an attractive compact body for under $2,000, it's just fantastic. So number 3, the menu system. It's quite easy to you know, to get used to. Nothing seems to be hard to find, as I had previously experienced getting used to Sony menus. It did take a day or so, like I said, to get used to, simply because all I've known is Sony menu, but everything is very well readable. Nothing is really confusing. There's not a whole lot in here. Number 4 is the accessories. So these are the accessories I fell in love with from the start. One of them, first being the Nisi metal lens hood and cap combo with a UV filter. It helps to weather seal your lens. When you first buy your camera, you are only going to get this lens cap here, which just goes right over the top. So it still has that, you know, kind of round, classy look, I guess. But when you get the square hood from Nisi, I don't know, it's kind of unique in a way. I like it. It also kind of doubles down because it has a UV filter. So it screws on, and guess what? Now you have a fully weather sealed lens. That was the only thing. It didn't have a seal from the top, or from the front here. You unscrew this little ring, pop in that UV filter, and you're good to go. The only other downside with this lens hood is using the optical viewfinder. You'll see, like once you use it, that a corner of this, the top left corner, will show through the OVF, which is not a deal breaker, but just something to kind of get used to when framing your shots using the OVF. You don't see it with the EVF because it, you know, it goes off of the electronics. All right, so the thumb grip is the next one. It's a must if you have larger hands. It provides that more secure feeling when grabbing it, rotating it around from vertical, horizontal shots. And you know, to be honest, I know they have a flip out one, but this button doesn't get in the way of, I mean, at least the thumb grip doesn't get in the way of these buttons. I can still access them just fine. So this one that I do have here fits in the hot shoe very nicely, no gaps. And it is by the Fuji THB X2S. Like I said, a must-have for larger hands. And then finally, a shutter button. This is something that I feel like should have probably been with the camera from the beginning. Only because when you remove this, there is like a little, there's threads in the shutter release. And it's like something, like a part is missing. So get this little piece here, kind of adds to your feel. You can change colors with it. I just got the black and silver to kind of add to the elegant look here and keep the color tones the same. Okay, so what else? The last accessory was the handmade leather strap that I bought. Added to the elegant look again for the vintage design, and I got mine made with these Peak Design anchor connectors because I use those with my other camera straps. So number 5 is the EVF and OVF. What was unique and something I haven't experienced in a while was, you know, with using mirrorless cameras, the cool factor of the OVF. You know, it's kind of like looking through a, I don't know, Kodak camera, a vintage camera. It's something you really don't experience a whole lot anymore with all the technology. So, and to top it off, you can use this front dial here to switch between the EVF and OVF, but it also displays a little zoom box inside the OVF, which you can see exactly where the camera is focusing on without having to use all the electronic features of the EVF. So there you have it. 5 things I love about the new Fuji X100VI. I'll put a link in the description with all the accessories I purchased. Let me know your thoughts on this camera, if you have one yourself or if you're looking to get it. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, see you!